Neighborhoods feel familiar until the world changes underneath them. After fallout, the streets carry a quiet tension that doesn't belong to normal life. Scouting outside becomes less about confidence and more about careful calculation. Step through the doorway slowly. Let your eyes adjust before your feet move. Still air means things settled, but settled doesn't mean safe. Ahead, the street looks calm. Calm usually means something is already watching. Wildlife shows the earliest signs of mutation. Just wrong in subtle ways the brain notices before the mind explains. Ears pivot too sharply. Heads rotate with uneven timing. Animals pause in the open like they forgot what fear feels like. A thin cat crouches under a ruined car. One pupil shrinks while the other stays wide. It tracks movement instead of threat. Fast motions trigger instinctive reactions, so keep movements slow and predictable. Angled posture helps too. Sideways silhouettes seem like less of a challenge. Heat from the blast warped the pavement. Small fractures run across the asphalt like veins. Gaps create hiding spots where small creatures wait silently. These are the ones that cause trouble. Quick and erratic. Nervous from brain circuits that didn't heal cleanly. Use a stick to mark sound patterns ahead of each step. One tap on concrete sends a signal through the cracks. Rodents with misfiring nerves respond to vibration and back away before you reach them. Avoid stepping near any pocket that doesn't react. Silence inside a crevice often means something waiting rather than sleeping. The old grocery store stands at the end of the block. Glass covers the entrance. Glass means noise. Noise attracts attention. Find a path with the least fragments or place fabric over what you must cross. Soft barriers reduce sound enough to stay unnoticed. Inside, the layout looks familiar but carries a stale tension. Shelves collapsed in uneven stacks, cans scattered, ceiling dust hanging like fog. Pick items that won't rattle inside a bag. Foil meals, cans without dents, plastic containers with tight lids, anything that remains quiet when shifted. A faint scraping breaks the stillness. Not loud but precise, rhythmic in the wrong way for random movement. Stay still. Stillness lets you fade into the environment. Movement sets off pattern recognition in animals whose senses drifted into strange new ranges. A fox steps into view. Patchy fur, uneven gait, nose lifting at empty air as if smelling shapes that don't exist. Keep your head low and body angled away. Let the fox study the space without focusing on you. Mutated creatures often lose the ability to categorize still figures. After a few seconds, it loses interest and wanders off. Gather supplies quickly. Water, food, anything useful that won't make unnecessary sound. Survival outside depends on quiet movement, quick decisions, and avoiding curiosity from anything alive. Leaving the store is harder than entering. Creatures outside tend to drift toward places with lingering sense of food. Take a moment before stepping through the doorway. Listen for movement, not sound. Movement breaks patterns in the air long before footsteps reach your ears. Step into the street with steady pacing. Avoid sudden shifts that might startle anything nearby. The world is quieter, but that quiet is loaded with tension. You keep to the walls where shadows soften your outline. Light areas expose shapes too clearly. Shaded paths help mask posture, especially when mutated animals scan for silhouettes. Halfway down the block, you spot a dog near a collapsed mailbox. Its body shakes with uneven tremors. One leg twitches out of sync with the rest. Neurological interference from earlier radiation spikes. Approach triggers unpredictability, so stay far to the side, maintain distance, and choose a new route.
A low hiss comes from behind a broken fence. Plants here change too. Twisted leaves curve inward. Branches droop with unnatural weight. Some stems leak sap that glistens in thick droplets. Contact with mutated vegetation can irritate skin or lungs. Avoid brushing against anything glossy or uneven. Give plants as much space as you give animals. You turn a corner and freeze again. A cluster of birds sits on a fallen power line. They all face the same direction. Not toward food, not toward noise, toward nothing. Synchronization like that never existed before the fallout. Disturbing flocks with altered perception invites panic. Panic spreads. Panic forces movement. Movement brings danger. So you wait until one bird shifts its weight. Only then do you pass quietly. The final stretch back home always feels like the longest. Creatures sense patterns. They notice when familiar shapes cross the same path twice. Vary your route whenever possible. Routine makes you predictable. Predictable shapes draw interest. When you reach your building, examine the entrance carefully. Stay alert for tracks in dust or displaced debris. Mutated animals slip into warm spaces seeking comfort. A dark hallway is safer than a bright courtyard, but only if nothing claimed it first. Inside, close the door without slamming it. Loud sounds echo through hallways and drift out broken windows. Echoes travel farther in still air. Farther means risk. Place scavenged items on a clean surface. Wipe containers gently to remove dust. Check clothing before moving deeper inside. Contaminated fibers can carry particles you do not want in your living spaces. This is the pattern survivors follow. Leave quietly, move deliberately. Avoid curiosity from anything alive. Return without leaving a trail of noise or scent. Neighborhoods may look familiar, but the biology walking through them changed. Scouting becomes an act of planning. Movement becomes a negotiation with instincts reshaped by radiation. The world outside isn't safe, but caution and awareness turn that world into something you can navigate, and that is the goal. Not heroism, not fearless wanderings, just a controlled walk through a place that forgot how to be normal. Make the right choices and you come home. Make loud or careless ones, and the neighborhood decides otherwise.